Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Video Game Pickups, and it has been a grueling summer day here on the East Coast, and it's turned into a rather warm and kind of humid evening, and what perfect time to be inside and talk about some video games I've gotten recently. And because it is so hot, I have my overhead fan on, and my AC is going. Hopefully that doesn't pick up on the mics. But anyways, I've got a slightly smaller stack of games than I normally have, but to make up for the lack of games, I have a good variety of games, as no two of these appear on the same system. Or I should say, or are from the same system. But before I get into my stack of games, what are some games you've picked up recently? What are some games you are playing? And of the games I have here, which one interests you the most? Let me know down below. I always love to hear what people picked up, what they're playing. Love that kind of stuff. So definitely let me know. And without further ado, let's get into it. This first game, little tiny boy, is none other than Konami's Crazy Racers. And from the shout out to the person who decided to write their name on the front label in Sharpie. Thanks, dude. But Konami's Crazy Racers is exactly what it sounds like. It is a Konami-themed kart racer, much like, Super Mario Kart and all the other sorts. But it is a really, really good, serviceable one. I have not played the two F-Zero games on the Game Boy in quite a long time, nor have I played, Mario Kart Super Circuit on the Game Boy in quite some time either, so I can't say whether or not this is better than those two. But it is a very, very good game. The controls are like they're just excellent. They remind me a lot of SD F1 Grand Prix, and of course you have a nice cast of Konami characters to choose from, like Goemon, and you've got some Parodius characters in there. You even got the GKO Power Pro Baseball guy is one of the characters. Actually, he's on the front of the game. But it's fun. Stages look really great. I think my only complaint with this game right now is that the music is kind of lackluster. But other than that, fine game. I'm sure I will talk about it on the channel at some point in the future, because you know me, I'm a real sucker for those Mode 7 games. Love me a good kart racer, and this is definitely right up my alley. I got this for, I think, $10, maybe $11, and it was one I didn't actually intend on picking up. I just kind of happened to be out and about and found a copy in the wild at this place called Second and Charles, and I have no idea if it's just an East Coast thing or if it's maybe even just a local thing to my state, but they're a cool secondhand shop, and I've found a copy in there for $11, and I didn't bother to look and see what it was going for on eBay to see whether or not I got a good deal or not. I just happened to be in the shop and was like, hey, you know what, let me pick the game up. Since, I might as well not leave it here. But yes, Konami's Crazy Racers. Cool little kart racing game. Next up is actually the prequel to a game I talked about in one of my previous episodes of Video Game Pickups, and that is none other than Sailor Moon S, the fighting game. And, much like its sequel, it's a pretty mediocre fighting game at best. It's kind of clunky. This one is even worse than the sequel, as there's a less variety. You only have none of the outer Senshi are in this game, so you only have, the 5 inner Senshi plus Chibi Moon to pick from in this game. So there's really no point in owning this game unless you're a super fan and super nerd of Sailor Moon like myself. And the price is also another contributor as to, probably why you shouldn't pick this one up. This cost me about $40, which I think is, I could be wrong, but I want to say I think it goes for slightly more than the better sequel. But, it's Sailor Moon. I had to own it. Yeah, that's about it for this game. Decent fighting game, really only for the hardcore fans like myself, or hardcore Super Famicom collectors like myself. Next up is something that might kind of shock you all. I mean, as you can see, and those familiar with my channel, you know, I'm big on Super Famicom games. But prior to this next purchase, I did not own any Famicom games. And I remedied that by picking up Mega Man 5, or Rockman 5 as it goes by in Japan. A lot of hardcore Mega Man fans, including myself, would say this is definitely not the best in the series, and while it's not the best, it's one I do enjoy, I think, more than some of the more hardcore fans. It's a very easy game. The Mega Buster in this game is super OP, and basically renders the other weapons useless, because you can kill everything with the Mega Buster pretty quickly. But it's still a serviceable Mega Man game. I mean, all Mega Man games, regardless of their quality within the series, are all excellent examples of grade A platformers, and this is certainly no exception. But yeah, Mega Man 5, fun game, pretty good soundtrack. I like a lot of the bosses in this one. But why did I import this game? Why not just get a US copy? Well, because US copies of Mega Man 5 go for either just under or a little over $100, which is ridiculous. But it was pretty late in the life cycle of the NES. Yeah, right here on this Japanese copy, it could be different for the States. This says 1992, which is the same year the Super Nintendo came out over in the States, and it had already been out over in Japan a year prior. So yeah, I think there was just a limited run of them over in the States, much like Mega Man 6, and it goes for pretty expensive because of that. So why not spend $15 to get an import copy of Mega Man 5? And last up is none other than Doom on the PlayStation. This is the PlayStation Custom Edition of Doom. I'm going to get it in here, and unfortunately there's just going to be some glare on there. Not a whole lot I can do about that. And this is a Japanese copy, so much like Mega Man 5, the Custom Edition version of Doom on the PlayStation goes for, you know, a decent amount of money over here in the States, as it's one of the better ports of Doom. So what they did is they added some dynamic lighting. Gone are all of the original sound effects and music, and Aubrey Hodges took all of his work from Doom 64 and ported all of those awesome sound effects and very ambient tracks over to PlayStation Doom. And not only do they cut out some of the more tedious levels, they've actually redesigned a lot of Doom 1 levels for a slightly better pace, kind of a better overall experience of Doom 1 in my opinion. And a couple of Doom 2 levels have been cut out as well. So yes, this encompasses not only Doom 1, but Doom 2 and the extra Thy Flesh Consumed levels. So it's got a lot to it. And it's a good port. It also takes out a couple of enemies, like the Pain Elemental isn't in there very often, and the Archvile has been scrapped entirely. So yeah, it's a really cool port of Doom on the PlayStation. Probably the best port of Doom, although it's not, you know, it's not entirely faithful to the original. But, you know, if you all saw my stream of that a little while ago, you know, it's quite dark, and I found it interesting. And I've since then gone all the way through it and found a lot to love about it. And let's just say I'll have a lot more to say about this game in the future. Also, this right here, $35 as opposed to the $60 to $70 that an actual US copy will go for. Although trying to get so I have one of those swap discs that you can use to play imports without having to do like the entire crazy annoying swap trick, and this did not load with my swap disc. I will have to find out whether or not I can get it to work with an actual modded PlayStation 1, but that'll have to wait till the future. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Video Game Pickups. Hope you all have enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, consider checking out these other videos right here, or even subscribing. Also, if you'd like to throw me a couple of bucks, you can support the show on Patreon.